Hello, everyone. My name is Ej0w, and yes, my voice is back, and so am I, of course. So, the last time I did a voice-related video was for Rod Blog and Warfare. That was a long time ago, like before Core Ventures was even created. Now, you're not seeing Core Ventures here, per se, but that's because this is a tutorial on something that is related to it. Specifically, how to replicate the same phishing system or even adaptation of it found in that game. I'm going to show you how I did it. So, let's get started, shall we? So the first thing you can see here is that there is a phishing system on the toolbox, or creator store as they call it up here, that I have found. This is the one that I used. So basically you got to use this one because this is the one that you would use to like create the whole thing. So we're going to need that, of course. Now, press OK. Complete phishing model is here. Now, I will say there's something else we definitely need. And that is Ej0w's RPG kit. Yes, that's right. This is for Ej0w's RPG kit. We're trying to make this for. And we can just put that in. I think that's how that works. Let's see. What is this? Oh. Yeah, sometimes you can find like multiple copies of Ej0w's kit. So this one has the same date. And as you can see, they're a little bit different. Now, I don't know what the fixes are for. Yeah. And then basically you just deal with that. Anyways, enough of the pleasantries with Ej0w's kit here. Let's deal with some more things. So if we close this out, you'll notice something is very wrong here. And no, it's not that everything's a mess. Rather, it's two things. One, we don't have terrain, and two, the kit's not set up. So let's get started on the kit being set up first. You should follow the instructions as stated for the kit. You know, putting these things where they need to be, if you will. So replicated storage goes in replicated storage. Server script service goes in server script service. Server storage obviously goes into server storage. Um, this definitely goes in workspace, if I'm not mistaken. So you put that there. Oh, and if you guys hear anything like weird behind me, that would be the wind. You might even hear the fan of the computer too. That happens even though there's like 16 gigabytes of RAM in here. And then you will have the player scripts. Now, the good thing about this RPG kit is that you never, ever, or almost never, if not that, have to edit this one here. Reason why is because everything is powered by modules. And I'm going to show you how to make that happen for the phishing system in a bit. The only reason why, if you were to get mine in the future, that's right, my version of Ej0w's kit, it will be called Ej0w, by the way. The reason why it would have some edits to the client main is due to the fact that some things may need to run before everything else, like ECS systems, or even like physics replication that may not even like work unless it's put in that script. And this here, I suggest you read if you use it. Because here's the deal, this can actually be inspiring. This was for me when I started out with Core Ventures. Kind of tricky, but it works either way. So, with all that being said, you can delete this now. The next thing we need to do is to choose a fishing model version. Now, the reason why I didn't pick this one is because, like it said, it's not recommended. It's final, but not recommended. This one is too old, as you can see. So I went with this one. Now I just delete this, and we're going to get these started. Now I already have animations already saved. So if I go to inventory, animation, like that, you can clearly see that there are anims right there, ready to go. And let's read the instructions. So we can already skip this, but if you don't have them, I would suggest you actually use the R6 ones for Ej0w because R15 doesn't work with Ej0w's kit unless you've made the modification. So, how did we do it? Well, I am going to have to take a look before we can start. So I'll be right back with that information. I'm back and actually look through the staging area, which is part of this specific universe or game that the tutorial is hosted under. And I saw that we had a skill like folder in items. What does this mean, you may ask? Well, skills are literally what powers this system. And believe it or not, without skills, you wouldn't have much, especially in the main game itself. Like, there'd be no way to really use something like this unless it's like ah, a different type of tool or something. But there's no category for like fish being ores. So, with that being said, we are going to actually get started right now and go from there. So, the first thing you want to do, per se, is get rid of this specifically. Like, it's not going to be needed. Or maybe keep it, actually. No, I have a better idea. We'll keep this, but we won't do anything with it yet. I'll explain why in a bit. This here is supposed to change. But let's look at this script here. This doesn't need to be here. We can delete this. All we need is gold. And it comes with the game itself. Now you go to game config and you go all the way down. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it would be... Oh, I know where to go now. I almost forgot. Supposed to go all the way down. And take this one here, because you might need this one first, and put it there. And then make this skill. If it's a tool, which it most likely is, you keep it as that. You show it in the inventory. Now, I would use a different color for the skill itself. So let's try 108 or 107. And let's set this to like 200. Set this to be 50. Maybe set that to be 100 as well. That'll do. Now, this is the 7th item. So we change it to 7. And bulk by max should be 1. Or you could just do 10, actually. Like, keep it at a low number. because it's not supposed to be bought more than once. This is something you keep. Anyways, we got that done. Now we just need to make sure that since we have a pawn shop, we really don't need this, honestly. You can just sell it within the pawn shop. You don't need that. This you could just keep empty. I mean, you can use glaciers and things like that, but I just wouldn't use it because terrain water is supposed to be a thing. Anyways, bait templates, well, that's supposed to be a thing too. And fish models is as well. So for this tutorial, we are going to use the fish made here due to the fact that I want to make sure that we get this done in a timely fashion. So I am going to have to get some things and I'll be right back. All right. So I just went to the other place to grab a very important tool and put it in here. And the reason why is because we're going to use this tool specifically to show you how to deal with this situation. So you have a folder that you have to put in. You name it skills. And basically why I did this is so that it's separate. And then we just, oh, wait, right. Then we just add that. And in fact, you're supposed to rename this to skill, not skills. Remember, when you're dealing with tool categories or the types of tools or items, they're always singular, never plural. See? So there's consistency. And when you go to this is a skill. And what it does, it's just like any other tool, but it's very special. Unlike the tools themselves, these have their own behavior per tool. Like they're supposed to represent something unique that a person can do. So, for example, construction means building things here. Fishing is fishing for fish, like actual fish. And then there's going to be another skill in my own game called marksmanship, which is basically using rifles in first person or even machine guns, depends on like what guns are going to be in that game. Yes, there will be guns in Core Ventures. This kind of represents Attack on Titan, if you will. Specifically, the fact that they had weapons going up until World War II in the anime. Kind of weird, huh? Anyways, you get the point. We're using the same icon as the model itself. The level is obviously 1. Skill name is fishing. You know what that does. We take the cost away. Excuse me. Kind of tired from walking, but I'll keep going. We take the cost and the selling cost away because you're not supposed to sell this. Especially in the academy setting of Core Ventures, you learn this. You cannot unlearn it. Skill info allows you to define certain fields that relate to the skill itself. So the starter rod is basically the rod that you would use. And in fact, I'll show you how to set that up in a minute, but I'm going to have to be right back with that information. All right, I'm back. And now, I do have the rod right with me. So here goes. You insert a folder right into assets. You call it fishing rods. And what this does, it holds a bunch of rods you can possibly use or was supposed to exchange for use in this specific instance. Now, the serious problem with this, which is why we decided not to make this have more than one rod, is that most of them look the same and didn't really do much. And we also, if we were to scale it, we would have to have a way to do it in the academy. That's the other problem. So it kind of makes it hard to work with. Anyways, that's why there's only one. So basically, that is this. The real sound and power release sounds are also a thing. And basically, that's just how we deal with it. Now, in order to deal with this properly regarding the I forgot what it's called, but basically, in order to deal with this regarding making sure that it works per se, and also that we have animations ready, you'd have to have the animations. I am grabbing them right now as I am speaking. So I already have them in my whatchamacallit. All I have to do is insert another folder. And I've had this folder long before this specific system was created, but this is basically what you would use to store your animations. The animations folder. Basically take these, load them into your character, and bam, they start working. So now as you can see, power hold is like something totally different than power release. Power release is basically you release the rod. And then reeling the rod, like basically these involve like casting the rod out into the water. This, when you reel in the fish, and then you're waiting here like as if you're idle. So that's what those animations do. So basically, if you made any animations, you'd put those there. And those would be like corresponding to the ones like these. Anyways, we won't need this for a while. We're probably not until the end of the video, to be honest. Anyways, you can take this out. Just about. And I'm going to show you how I would fix this problem. But actually, I am going to bring the scripts into this specific like situation because I feel like it's necessary to do so, especially when it comes to making sure that everything is properly done. Because it's been a while since I've used this system, like actually implemented it into the game itself. So what you would do, you would make a new script in tool setup. I'm going to use the existing one, and basically we call fishing. These typically just use the same layout as Ej0w and of course Ej0w would use. So for example, these are services. You grab those first. These are like, player references. So this is the local player, the player that you are when you play the game. These are modules. So basically this right here. That's your current camera. This is the config for the entire game. The tool system is like the client version. Basically, this is a client tool setup. And that is an attribute module. So what that does is it allows you to set attributes and whatnot on like whatever you need to set it on. So like the humanoid has certain attributes, so does the character. It really depends. Event module is basically what we had in Roadblock and Warfare, but streamlined and better in terms of readability. In fact, I'll show you right now. Yeah, we're gonna replace that, so hang tight for just a second. I do need to find out where I put the config here. So I'll take the remotes, and for this specific one, you don't have to do this. You can just use the regular one and just actually, we didn't use the one that was like redone for my game. No, we just used the regular one from Ej0w's kit. So this will work, that'll work. You get the picture. So, anyways, and then the animation handler basically just does what this does here. So setup on equipped, these are like event handlers, but they play animations. instead of doing anything else per se. Like, deactivate is basically when you stop using the tool. Activate is when you start using the tool. This is when you have like a fish and you're like reeling it in, like as if you're going fishing. Basically, it's supposed to simulate that, but in a way that works, if you will. So, yeah. Anyways, we won't need this yet. We actually won't need the fishing rod. Now, the reason I got rid of the mini game is because it's not really needed and you just want to fish for fish. Now, if you want to implement it, you can. But would I suggest it? Is the question. Well, not really. First of all, you want to be very careful what you implement in your game regarding fishing. If it's like this, could be predatory. Let me be wrong. I mean, let me not be wrong here. Because here's the deal. A lot of games outside of Roblox have used loot boxes and other questionable practices in the past. This is no different. Mini game handler is just like that. It's kind of like Souls RNG or like a worse version of Fish, if you will. And that's not good. So we're just going to get rid of that. Now the fishing rod GUI is necessary. And for that, I've created, if I can go all the way down here, a special GUI for just that purpose. And voila, there you have it. Now, if you don't know already, some of you may, if you're watching my videos from like Canada or even France itself, or any French speaking country, et voila in French means and there. And there it is. It's like there you have it, but French. That's literally where it comes from. But this is the fishing GUI, and if I were to enable, oh, it's already enabled, correct. If I were to enable the background, it's just a regular old bar. Usually this is like a power bar, if you will. This is what you would use when you're like trying to cast the fish, basically, the fishing rod. So we don't need this. Power bar handler should already be there. I think. I'm not sure. I'll be right back when I check that fact. Hang tight. Okay, so I am actually back and I just realized something. We're missing another module. Et voila! Yet again, here it is. The fishing module, but for the user interface. Now, as you can see, I do follow the format that Ej0w and Ej0w have adopted. And I think it's a really good format for like describing what your code does. So this is what you're supposed to do. Basically visualize the 2D feedback for fishing. So the bar is one of those things. We have create tween here. We have a whole bunch of other stuff here. Now, I was going to upgrade this module, but I figured let's not do that right now. And basically this is what we have. As you can see, it's a lot of tweening, a lot of connection management. We also have a touch button, and we have like a way to show people like if their fishing is pretty good, as you can see. Like timing should be everything, obviously. And then there you go. That's about it for that one. Now, the other thing, or other elephant in the room, we have to knock out will be anything else that's left. Notify, you really don't need that. all you need is just drops, as in like item drops and whatnot. And this we will handle in a bit. Remotes, definitely don't need that. It's automatically handled. Yeah, pretty much. Although I will say this definitely needs to be swapped out. So I'm going to handle that right now. Now what you need to add for fishing to work is the following. Fish event, start fishing bar, stop fishing bar. And if we go up, cast fishing line, and hmm, that's about it, basically. One is a remote event, the other three are bindables. And that's what you would need to do regarding remotes. You wouldn't need to do much. Now this is not needed since we already cover that. In fact, we don't even need this rod per se once we handle this. So we can get rid of these two. And basically all of this would be gone. Now, regarding the fish, all of these should be handled properly. So, this is how I would do it. Common bluefish. I would rename this. And I would make sure that they're treated as consumables. Now you may be thinking, well, that makes sense. That's because it does. And is the best way to handle these fish. So I'm going to put that in. Now for this, I will make the sell price based on the fish themselves, obviously. And let's see, common bluefish. Make that level 1. And then, as you can see, it's supposed to be an elixir. But I'll make it health this time for simple reasons. Basically, the elixir acts as a way to like help with brain health and everything else. And the reason why I put that there is simple. Because mana basically comes from intelligence, like the amount of mana you have in this kit. And what is good for brain health? The eating fish. So I figured, why not make health and mana a thing? Now, I could show you that, but I'll probably do that in a later tutorial because it's kind of late. And I don't want to go over too much time because usually when I make these tutorials, they can be very long. So, as you can see, all of that is handled, and I'll just put that where it needs to be. Now, we're only going to do 5 of these, one from each rarity, so that we can ensure that everything works properly. Okay, now we need to get the epic yellow fish. Or should I call him a goldfish? I think goldfish would be better. Yeah, it sounds weird, but I mean, what else can we do? We don't have much time. So, we're going to take this, copy it, put it right where it needs to be. Now, this fish costs about 70. So we're going to make that thing, and then this will be 140. This should be 20. So this is how I would suggest it, even though I did mine differently. You take the sell price, put that in first, and then double that for the cost. and that will solve the problem. And then basically we'll make the health like 150 since they're like, or maybe 120. Yeah, 120. No, 150. Yeah, I had the math right the first time. And then basically you put that in the consumables, just like that. Then we'll go with something like legendary. Or could we go with rare? I think we'll go with rare. Rare goldfish. And basically you'll do the same thing to this that we did to the others. Quite simple. Now this goldfish has a cost of 50. So we sell for 50, buy for 100. And yeah, rarity should be 90. And that's it for the rare goldfish or the rarity, as you can see here. So we take that, put that right there. And then uncommon, you can like possibly deal with this a bit differently. So I'm going to use this one and basically paste it here. We're going to call this fish. Oops, my bad. Uncommon pufferfish. Just pretend the white fish was pufferfish. This should be at least 30. So 30, 60. Okay, health should be 90, obviously. Or is it 60? No, I think it's 60 because it's uncommon. Rare is where it's 90. So that solves that problem. Now we just put it where it needs to be, which should be right down here. Okay, see how much we got. We have epic, common, rare. Yeah, this one should be 120, to be honest, because we're not going over that. Yeah, for the sake of time, we're not going to deal with the rest. And that will be it for that one. Now, the bait templates are also very important. Without bait, you cannot cast the net. So we're going to deal with that too. Now for this one, I'd like to use a different one than what we have here. And basically you paste them in assets, or you can make your new folder, call it bait templates, and put this one here. Delete this, and voila, that's it for those. So all we have left is now the server script. How do we deal with such a thing? Well, I have a script for that too. And as you can see, we go straight to modules, or was it libraries? I forget. Either way, you're going to need this too, because without the skill module, it doesn't work. Like you always have to create a module. In this one, for every single tool category or item category you make. And then basically we go straight to, I think it's here. Yes, it is. So we'll just add that in. Get rid of the other modules though. So basically what I would do when I get to context, we just add that in, get rid of the rest, and then basically we would yeah, we take that and just use it. Or I could go back to the source here. You're not going to be able to see it here because, I'm still using it. Or like it's not really loaded on OBS. But basically I take this and yeah, you just load that right there. Actually, load that underneath so that both of them can work at the same time. And there you have it. That should work. However, I could be wrong. Actually, I would be wrong. There's one more thing I haven't covered yet, and I'll cover that before we test it out and lay out the terrain before that. And that will be let's just say, it'll be the data that we have to deal with. Because there's more data than that meets the eye. So this is the skills data, right? So I'm going to load this. Well, actually, you can't see it. Well, I'm going to load it anyways. This is the skills data, right? So we're going to remove construction. The reason why I'm doing this is to show you how it works. Basically, all this is doing is just gathering a bunch of global data and putting it where it needs to be. So now we're going to change the fish names because this is where you change it. So we have common bluefish, uncommon pufferfish, rare goldfish, and of course, the epic goldfish. Now, with that being said, we're going to give these their own rarities since they have like it in the name. And basically, we're going to take this one, make its VFX tier 3, VFX tier 1 is obviously for this one. Rare is VFX tier 3, actually. This one's VFX tier 4 because they differ. This one's supposed to be 2 because it's uncommon. And as you can see, that is most likely finished for now. We'll see what happens. Anyway, you can see this and everything. And once we have that, we need to get the terrain set up. So, oh, and all the other stuff too. So we're going to take the base plate, bring in the terrain tool, generate. Now change the size to 1020, no, 2048, excuse me, by 2048. And to make sure everything is on par, I will go to the edge of the map. Okay, you know what? Let's not use the generate tool. I actually have a plugin that I want to show you. So this is part to terrain. And basically what I'm going to do is just replace the part with actual terrain. Very simple, straightforward. I suggest you use it because without part to terrain, things can get quite different regarding generation if you don't know what you're doing. Next, I will make sure to paint at least a piece of it. And why is this so important? Well, without painting it, we won't have any water. So we just paint it like that. Basically, this creates a simple watering hole, even though it should be bigger, like this. And voila, it looks pretty good. Now all we gotta do is make it more welcoming with grass. Okay, and yeah, we could do that on both sides. That's how I prefer the grass. And that's it regarding the terrain. Now all we need to do is get these guys situated. Make it look lively whenever you're doing this so that it feels different. And let's see, is there any other parts of the map? Oh yeah, those pathways, we don't need them. Like, we could put ore here, I guess. That's iron, by the way. And you have stone as well. So we put that somewhere. Okay, looks good. Looks good for a watering hole, that is. And then basically put the shops somewhere where they can be seen. Put the mobs somewhere out of the way. Never put them too close to the watering hole, or else they'll cause trouble. And then we'll take the armor, put it next to the fountain. There you go. And then this guy we'll put right here. Now, I don't know about zones. I probably might just put these in lighting. Yeah, that keeps things simple. Same thing with the teleports. We're not going to need these. And for the final touch before we start to test, I am going to... Oh yeah, I need to paint it. So, go back to home, terrain, and then you get the asphalt. Or we could just do cobblestone. I think cobblestone is better. You basically paint around it. And that works pretty well, I'd say. And as you can see, I'm creating a perfect square in a way so that everything looks pretty good. And there we have it. Oh, almost. And that's it. Oh, make a path to the whatchamacallit, the watering hole. Done. Now we can test. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is press the button and see what happens. Now I'll let you know if it doesn't work. It should come up in the output. Okay. It's a little sluggish, but I think it will work. Now I just follow the path, as you can see. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. There's one thing we forgot to do, and that is if you want to test it right away, you need to make sure it's a tool that is given out by default. So this is what I would do. I go all the way up, obviously. Take one of these. No, not one of those. One of these, excuse me. And basically add it here. So I do fishing, and that should be a skill. And there we have it. Now, as you can see, it shows up, but we still need to check and make sure that everything works. So we're going to do so right now. We'll keep walking. And here we are. Now, don't know what happened here. Huh, odd. Give me a second to check. Oh, did I forget something? I know I've been rambling for like almost an hour, but I think we should be able to knock this out. Hmm, okay. That's server storage. Oh, excuse me. I'm just looking at the other place to see if I did something wrong. I'll be right back. Okay, so I found the culprit. And basically it's these lines here. Before they were this, as you can see. Now let me get back to them. Basically what you need to do is add this right here, like or this. If the skill name is there, it'll pick it up and make sure that it works. Because each skill is an individual thing, unlike all the other items out there. Now let's try it. Not too bad. Could be worse. I'm talking about the layout of things. Anyone wondering? Basically, in the past, if I tried to use OBS to record a session, it would like overload and get laggy. So, just a heads up. Anyways, we're gonna do this. Huh, weird. Oh, there are errors here. I think I can fix those. That's right. I just remembered. There's one more thing I need to give you. That one I can easily do. Basically, when you're doing game config, make sure to link the skills. If you don't, it will not work. Like link them to the game config like this. Very simple. It also keeps everything organized. So there you have it. Now before we leave, I want to make sure we test out the rod. And if it works, you will see it. So let's go. Make sure everything works. And then I'll let you go once I've confirmed that. Huh, odd. It's not working. It was earlier. Maybe I just missed something. Yeah, I think we missed something. I'll take a look at it. So, no, I don't get it. Excuse me. Oh, I think I understand why. But then again, this was copied to it. Let's see about this. I'm just looking in the staging area for those who are wondering. Just trying to see if there's something I missed. Hmm. I'll take a look yet again and see if I forgot something. So all the fishing rods are here. Well, as this wouldn't show up. Bait templates are here. Hmm, odd. I'm gonna take a look at the input. It's errorless, as you can see. That's the server. I was looking in the wrong place. My bad. Huh. Give me a second. I'm gonna try something. Which I would say make sure the character is R6, because if it's R15, it could be pretty bad. So let's see if that works. All right. See what he does. Huh. That's odd. Give me a second to play test the staging area. Because I know it worked in the staging area, but yeah, pretty difficult to set up. Now you may hear the game, like a different version of the game sounds, but that's because I'm using the staging area to see where I went wrong. I think it is the rod. Yeah, as you can see here, it's working, but and yeah, that's the sound for the loot. Like I actually like made a different loot system in the staging area so that it works a little bit differently from what we usually have. So, I have to figure that one out. This usually doesn't happen. Okay, yeah, that's just weird. Let's see if like, hmm, maybe I messed up somewhere or something. Anyways, let's see the user interface. Yeah, it's supposed to be on. Well, that didn't work necessarily, but you kind of get the gist of how we're supposed to be doing things here. But I'm going to have to show you how it works anyway in order to end this off because that was the major promise. So let's go to the staging area and see if we can do that. As you can see, the staging area, I mainly use this to test out new features for core ventures before they are shipped. And yeah, the logo looks a little bit different. That's because everything is loading. I'm going to skip, obviously. As you can see, that's a dummy character here because this is just the staging area. You can like actually eat the fish. And it gives you more mana and health, depending on like where you are. So then if you see, the rod works on this area. And you can like charge it like that. And basically that happens. It starts reeling in the fish. And why don't you look at that? I got a bunch of fish here. I got tuna, sardines, salmon, and trout. And I can consume them just like that. And if I wanted to use magic, which I can do now, just easily do it. Now, you will have to make sure that when you do have like the landing animations and everything, that this thing is like driven by some kind of, let's just say like idle anim that works. Because right now this tool version doesn't. But anyways, you get the gist. That's what the result was supposed to be, and I'm really sorry if the video is this long. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, especially when it's like late at night like this. But for what it's worth, I mean, we did get something done here. And in the future, I'll mainly focus on just giving you guys more previews and small tutorials at that. Anyways, my name is Ej0w, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.